Hey, I am D. Grant Smith, the relationship growth farmer, and I help people grow, cultivate, and harvest love and success from within you. And if you've been through difficulty, if you've been through challenge, or you've been through heartbreak, there's a chance that you have let these experiences dictate the way that you see yourself. What I help you do is treat your heart and your mind like a garden and pull out those negative beliefs about yourself that are keeping you from operating out of confidence and operating out of wholeness so that you can once again grow love from within you. And what that does is it attracts love and success into your life. Now, what I did a video about before talked about a very powerful teacher that I've been growing and learning from, growing in and learning from for the past several months, maybe even longer than that, year or so. And his name is Neville Goddard. Now, if you haven't ever heard of Neville Goddard, go read his stuff. He's got a whole series of books that he wrote in like the 1940s and 50s. And if you spend any amount of time on YouTube, which you probably do, just type in Neville Goddard and you'll get, I encourage you to go find his old recordings of his lectures because he was an incredibly powerful teacher, transformational in every way. And you always feel super empowered. I'm an empowerment superhero, so I'm drawn to this stuff. And of course, what you focus on, you attract into your life. So as I focus on empowerment, I attract more opportunities to grow in empowerment. Neville Goddard's one of the biggest heroes of just helping you change the way that you see yourself and operate from the divinity and the ultimate love that is within you. Now, I believe that God is love, and I believe that love lives inside of you. Love lives inside of all of us. So all of us are a piece of God. This is a big part of what Neville Goddard teaches. Now, what he also teaches is that that infinite love that is within us is the abundance that we want to experience. What we end up having happen to us is we experience also resistance in our outer reality. We experience resistance to the things that we want to have. Sometimes this happens when you get rejected by somebody, or when you interpret somebody else's behavior as rejection. Or if you're in a career field where you're working on a project or you're going for an advancement of some kind and you don't meet immediately with the thing that you want, and you assume that that's just the way that it is and you can't have that. Neville talks about the law of assumption. And the law of assumption is the law that whatever you believe to be true and whatever you assume to be true is what you're going to experience. And if you will look back at your life, at every step along the way, your victories have come because you assumed that you can be victorious and that you will be victorious. And you pushed through the opposition, you pushed through the challenges, you persisted until that came into being. And probably every one of your failures, or every opportunity that didn't come into being the way that you wanted it to, or didn't come into being at all, maybe the opposite of it happened, is because you assumed that that's the way that it was going to be. And the law of assumption is whatever you assume to be the way that it is, and whatever you persist in believing in, regardless of what shows up in your reality, is what you're going to experience. That's the law of assumption. What I'm going to share with you guys today is two things. One, how our inner world determines what we experience in our outer world, and also what steps you can actually take to change your outer world by changing your inner world. Now, I mentioned if you've been through heartbreak or you've been through some sort of incredible challenge or difficulty or overwhelm and you're questioning yourself, you want some more resources, I have those in the description below. All kinds of stuff available for you, from books to courses to coaching if you want to work with me one-on-one. But here's the thing, I'm all about empowering you to see the whole, full, true version of yourself, and to plant those beliefs and plant those seeds of love inside your heart garden and inside your mind garden, and do so on a continuous basis so that that is what you are cultivating within, and that is what you are harvesting within, so that you can experience more of that coming into your reality. Now, where growth farming happens is what we feel about ourselves, what emotions we choose to focus on for ourselves, and what thoughts we choose to believe about ourselves will determine what we produce in our life. Because all growth and all change and all transformation, and ultimately all the things that we experience from the outside of us, are a reflection of what's going on within us. So if there are aspects inside your relationships that you don't like, instead of blaming the other person or seeing the other person as being responsible for what's going on and how you feel, you have to pause and go within and ask yourself this question: what am I assuming about myself? And what am I assuming about other people that is causing me to experience this present situation? What are my beliefs? What are my assumptions? And look at that from within you. Look at how you feel. Now, there's a law of attraction stuff that talks about raising your vibration. If you're operating from a vibration of worry or doubt or fear, then your vibration is really low and you're going to attract more of that into your life. And there's definitely a lot of truth in that. And all of that has to do with the way that you see yourself and the way that you feel about yourself. So how do you transition from a place where you are operating out of doubt or worry or fear and into a higher vibration so that you can attract the opposite of doubt and worry and fear into your life and you can feel better about yourself? This is what growth farming is. It's about consciously and willfully changing your story, changing the way that you see yourself, changing the way that you think about yourself, and changing what it is you're telling yourself that you are, who it is that you're telling yourself that you are. Now, for me personally, I've been through all kinds of series of trials and tribulations, just like everybody else has, just like you have. One of my biggest gut-wrenching, hardest situations was actually the thing that ended up leading me to get to this place in life where I'm operating as the best version of myself. And that was going through the gut-wrenching heartbreak of divorce. I sat here in this chair about 4 years ago, reeling from the situation I found myself in, which was I'd been married for about 12 years. And my wife decided that she didn't want to be married anymore and she left. And I had built my identity around being married. I had built my sense of self-worth and my sense of purpose and my sense of fulfillment around this attachment that I had to somebody else and this attachment that I had to being married. I thought that made me who I was. I didn't believe that I was whole and complete on my own as I was. And I also didn't believe that unless somebody else said the big words of I love you, or unless somebody else said, this one particular person said, I see you as worthy and I see you as valuable, that I wasn't worthy and I wasn't valuable. And since I didn't believe that about myself inherently from within, what I experienced without of me reflected that lack from within. That doubt that I felt about myself was reflected back to me. I attracted that experience into my life because of what I was growing from within. I was growing doubt. I was growing fear. I was growing worry. And so that's what I attracted into my experience. And what happened to me was I was sitting here in this chair and I was remembering being married. I was actually remembering my wedding day, and it broke me. And I fell into the floor and I cried my eyes out. And I felt so utterly broken. And it was in that place where the divine of love, the God of love, the infinite, unconditional, loving universe met me where I was and met me from within and spoke in my ear, you don't know how to love yourself. And that was an eye-opening, soul-opening, heart-opening experience because it was true. I didn't know how to love myself, and that was actually the cause of my pain. It wasn't that my wife had left. That was a fruit of the real source. I didn't know how to love myself. The way I had to change that was I had to do two things. One, I had to learn what love actually is, because it had to be true that what I believed about what love is wasn't the full picture. Because if I'd really believed what love was, and then I would have known how to give it to myself instead of believing that I had to chase after it. I'd spent my entire life chasing after what I wanted instead of believing that I was inherently worthy of it and that it would naturally come to me. Whatever it is that you chase after is what you're always going to be chasing after. But if you will love yourself enough to see yourself as worthy, you will allow the universe to bring that to you instead of you having to chase after it. So growth farming for me, the whole principle came into being from me realizing that I needed to grow love from within me. I needed to change my story. I needed to change my beliefs, and I needed to persist in this work until it became fact. And I've been persisting in this work for the past 4 years. One of the tools that I've used is something that I've written about in a book called The Growth Farming Seeds for Success. It's something else that I've written about in my Be Solid book. Actually, I write about it and I teach about it extensively inside the Be Solid book, and the whole framework is available in the link below, so go check it out. It's about affirming to myself who I am and doing so on a regular basis. It's changing the story in here and doing it over and over and over again. When we're little kids, we don't learn how to count the first time we count. We don't learn the ABCs the first time we read them. We don't learn how to read books the first time we start just reading a couple of different things. That's why at every incremental level in grade school, things get a little bit harder and a little bit harder and a little bit harder, because it's about repeating the same things we've been doing up to that point, but repeating them and adding new things to them, which is why persisting in the work is the key to leveling up and taking your life to the next level and attracting more success and more benefit and more growth. We have to keep doing the work instead of feeling like, okay, now I'm done, I don't have to do this anymore. No, you keep persisting. And where the law of assumption and growth farming come together is you do the work within you. You feel the way that you want to feel about yourself. You tell yourself, I am worthy. I am worthy. I am beautiful. I am lovable. I am loved. And not only that, I am love. I don't seek love to find me, because love is who I am. And because love is who I am, I attract that into my life. I am success. I don't have to chase after success. Success is who I am. So success is magnetized to me. We have to change the way that we see ourselves, change what we believe about ourselves, and change the way that we think about ourselves, because what you think about over and over again becomes your beliefs. And what you believe is what you're assuming to be true. When you change yourself, adopt Neville's law of assumption, it starts from within you. And you changing the way that you see yourself, changing the way that you feel about yourself, changing the way that you think about yourself, changing the way you talk about yourself. All this stuff creates an internal dynamic change from within you that shifts everything. And you stay persistent in this shift, persistent in planting these seeds inside your mind, inside your heart, inside your body. Persistence in operating from the wish fulfilled, which is the law of assumption. What is it that you want to experience? What is it that you want to be your dream come true? Imagine that. Imagine what it feels like. Imagine what it looks like. Imagine what it sounds like. Imagine what it tastes like. Imagine all the different senses and sit in that place and assume that it is your present reality. Sit in it in your imagination and create it in your imagination. And in doing so, you are planting the tree of life inside your heart so that it can grow out and produce the fruit that you experience in your reality. So that is the culmination of what I talk about in growth farming, and the culmination of what Neville Goddard teaches in the law of assumption, coming into a harmonious union together. And the way that you practice that is by going within. Everything that you experience in your outer reality is a reflection of what is going on inside of you. So if there's something outside of you that you are not wanting to have, go within, find out from yourself, from your heart, talk to your soul, talk to the God within you, and that source will tell you exactly what's going on and exactly what you need to do, and lead you each step in an incremental path so that you can move forward in the direction that you want to go into. Now, if you want some help with that, I'm here for you. I've got books and courses and coaching. All the links are available below. I've done this in my own life, and I've led dozens and dozens and dozens of people to transform and change their lives from being in places of brokenness into places of wholeness and solidarity. If you'd like my help, I'd love to be here I am here for you. I'd love to make myself available to you to walk you through the process of actually making this happen. Okay. Okay. I believe in you. I love you, and I'll see you soon.